I'm just Jake here to give my review of the Unicorn. Of course, this blaster's been all over, and it is like going like crazy right now. But here I am, unshaven and late to the game. I've actually had this blaster for a couple of weeks, and instead of trying to be one of the first, I'm trying to give it a thorough review, so hopefully that might help you, because I have found a couple of issues that I don't know if others have pointed out yet or not. But let's get into it. So, first off, what is the Unicorn? Other than a fictional or non-fictional, depending on who you are, non-fictional or mythical animal that has one horn, looks like a horse. Well, in this case, it's not that. It's this blaster. And it is a half-dart firing, pump-action, spring-powered, very compact form factor blaster. And when you get it, it comes disassembled, and you have to assemble it yourself. And you actually have the choice of doing a top prime or a pump action, as I've included here, because I've got AM Pros. I don't need a top prime here. So I'm going to go with a compact pump action blaster here that has both single shot and slam fire. So hold the trigger. Kind of a neat whole concept. Now, it actually comes with the very, very nice, straightforward, and simple way of being a full takedown blaster. Much like it was pioneered by the Jet Blaster Sita years ago, that you just pull the pins, 2 pins come out, you have a short one right in front of the mag well, and a longer one at the back of the blaster. Pull your pins out, set them aside, and then pull the upper right off of the lower, and I'll actually eject my magazine as well, but that allows you to have access to your internals for maintenance, lubrication, spring swap if you want to, and also gives you a good look at the quality of the construction. You got metal priming bars, anodized aluminum plunger tube, you've got metal catch and trigger, and also a lot of the exterior parts are metal. You have an aluminum backplate, aluminum trigger guard, and the mag release button, which is unfortunately not ambidextrous. It is only on the right hand side of the shell. It's also aluminum. Pretty much the rest of the blaster is constructed out of a very nice grade heavy duty nylon. So well built. And that is, outside of the ease of takedown, the build quality is probably, at least in my opinion, those are the 2 main features. So that is, and I'm putting it back together while talking to you, so it is very easy, and especially after you've done it a few times, very easy to go back and forth to take it apart. Now, it comes included with a smoke colored magazine. I'm not using it. I actually am using worker magazines. It is fully compatible. They work extremely well with it, and they feed perfectly. Now, speaking of feeding, I'm going to get into the first hiccup that I've found. I did my testing over the past couple of weeks with worker darts, with Jet Blaster or Game Face. I know they're packaged as Game Face. They're basically jet darts. And Adventure Force Pros. Now, the Adventure Force Pros were the only ones that gave me issues here and there. Once in a while, they would hang up in the blaster. And I may insert a clip from a previous take, because sometimes I do full straight through takes on my videos. Sometimes I just have to redo them from the entirety. But that is something that does happen. I'm glad it happened live, because I was going to get to that as some of my nitpicks. Adventure Force Pros, every once in a while, actually fail to fire out of the barrel. So there's one. Let's keep going. There's another. I actually had only... Oh, you can see that one barely came out. You probably could hear the sound. I don't know if my shotgun mic picked it up well enough, but you probably could hear it. It just basically flopped out. It didn't even make it to my my dart catcher. And that has happened multiple times with the Adventure Force Pro Darts only. And that one had a good smack to it. And overall, I had pretty good performance, ranging from about 140 to up to about 149, depending on, one of the three dart types I use. Again, Worker, Adventure Force Pros, and Jet Blaster Game Face darts. I had same rough range of all, but once in a while I did have a Adventure Force Pro fail to exit the barrel. And all it took was, as soon as I realized that, just eject the mag, pump it again, and it would just then dislodge it. And it would happen as often as one per magazine. Now these are 18 round Workers, so 1 in 18 sometimes 2 at 18. And then other times I'd go 3 mags and not have it happen. So I'm going to chalk that up to being a little bit of an issue between barrel fit and specifically the QC on the Adventure Force Pro darts. Now I've got a bunch of packs of them because I have about 1,000 of the Adventure Force Pros that I personally use. And, that's a mass-produced dart. I'm going to chalk it up to that. But I wanted to note that because I know if I'm using Adventure Force Pro darts as my main dart, there's probably a lot of people that are. Because, well, let's admit it. They're the easiest to get. You just go into your local Walmart and buy a pack. This did have a couple of hiccups with them. So, something to note. Otherwise, it was very trouble-free over the past 2 weeks that I've been using this. I had 0 issues with function. This thing is buttery smooth on the prime, and it unfortunately does not have a D prime, so plug the barrel, which also allows you to test the seal, and it doesn't have the greatest seal, so I think there's some performance to be had there, because I was checking it out, and when you take this out and you look at your breech seal, the breech seal is not the best. Again, something to note. But what are the best things about this? Well, again, that ease of takedown and the absolute tanky build quality. And I'm going to take a moment here to note. I know some people thought this was going to be this ultra groundbreaking blaster that you gotta go get. Is it that? No, I don't think so. So, kind of moving into my conclusions here. It's a 140-ish FPS blaster firing half-length darts only. It's compact form factor with both a pump action or a top prime if you chose. With the included parts, you could go with the top prime, omit the pump action. I don't know why you'd want to do that, because if you prefer that setup, why wouldn't you just go get an Aeon Pro? Because I keep budget in mind in all things that I do, because I am just a working guy. Well, if I wanted a top prime half-length dart dart blaster firing at around 140 FPS, the Aeon Pro is out there for about a quarter of the price. So this is about a $100 blaster. Depending on where you get it, it's just under or just over $100. So the pump action is the only, to me, logical way to run this. And then the only thing it really has over the Aeon Pro is, of course, the fact that it has the pump action and the stock built in. Because remember when the Aeon Pro came out, people were putting on pump action kits and stocks. You can get a 3D print rear end attachment piece to make the Aeon Pro take a stock. And then you can add a pump grip kit if you want. And what would be kind of neat to do is to do a video with this and a fully kitted out Aeon Pro. I think this has a higher ceiling, but you may not need the roof to be sky high. If you only need 140, 150 FPS, and you want the top prime, this probably is not the blaster for you. You may like the takedown and you may like the heavy duty construction, but the Aeon Pro would do the same exact job straight out of the box. So, final thoughts. 140 FPS blaster with great construction, great ergonomics. I noted the only hiccup on the AF Pro darts, not 100% liking this blaster, and this blaster not 100% liking them. Absolutely not a match made in heaven. Works pretty well though. If you're stuck using Adventure Force Pros, this will do pretty good. Now, the other hiccup, of course, was the non-ambidextrous mag release. It looks like you have a button, but that's actually just where this aluminum button passes through. So you've got to release it on the right-hand side. And yes, I do test my blasters with left-hand firing as well, because I'm ambidextrous, at least with blasters. And, you know, you have to, if you're a lefty, you're going to have to grab it with your hand, hit that button with your thumb, like so, and pull out. You can, but not the best ideal situation. Now, overall, it's a pretty positive experience. I paid my $90 to M416GelBlaster.com. I seen this show up. I've been using it for 2 weeks. I haven't really had any issues. I also haven't been like ultra blown away. I'm happy with my purchase, but this wasn't the be-all end-all that some made it out to be, nor did I expect it to be. It is a solid blaster at a okay-ish buy. That's all I'm gonna call it. It's a $100 blaster. The $62 price that you see some people mention for Monkey Mods, it's not $62. It's $62, and at least in my case, when I priced it with shipping, they added on $40.25 shipping, so it became $102.75 total price without tax. Right up there with what BU Blasters and Zen Duo toys, and above what M416 Gel Blaster is selling it for. So, if you like this, if you find that you want to buy it, find the best deal. Find the best deal for you. I'm not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, so just go find it the best deal if you choose to buy it. Word of caution, though. It's a 140 FPS blaster that's solid, has a high ceiling, but make sure that this is really what you need, because I have a feeling there's other blasters out there that will suit a lot more people at a lower price. Just a word of caution, and I spent my own money to end up saying that. So, thumbs up for the channel, maybe, because I spent my own money to do this, and I genuinely think there's other blasters that can fulfill the purpose if you're looking for, you know, that 140 FPS range, because you'll have to detune it a little bit, like put a scar barrel on it for, you know, HVZ if you're going to use it for that, and if you're going to use it against people who are at 200 FPS, yes, you can do that. You just have to up the spring rate, maybe extend the barrel, you know, go with the other plunger tube that they offer for this. So there are options, but then you're putting more money into it. It keeps going. But it is a solid blaster at a okay-ish price. That's my take on the Unicorn. So, take it or leave it. I'll leave it for you to decide whether it's for you. And just, if you do decide to get it, look for the best possible deal you can. Zen Duo has it, BU Blasters has it, M416 Gel Blasters has it, and Monkey Mods has it. That's 4 options to look for the Unicorn. But if you stay to the end, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, this is Mongoose Jake.